debt.
Yeah, that's terrible. You're listening to Smith Radio. We're at smithradio.com. That's Smith with a Y, SMYTHRADIO. If you want to be a part of the program, call 772-49-SMITH, SMYTH. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Smith Radio, and we are on Twitter at Smith Radio.
So we're going over Speaker Ryan and how much of a buffoon he is. It doesn't take much to see that Speaker Ryan has lost. I mean, you want to talk about a fall from grace in the Tea Party eyes.
The end of his little response, Trump's response to Ryan, I thought was brilliant.
They have been treated so badly for so long. It's about time for politicians to put the American people first.
Right, because what the anti-Trump people will say is, oh, he's just pandering. He's pandering. But here's why it works regardless of whether or not you think it's pandering. There's truth in that. It's totally true. It's not pandering when it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, he's saying something. We are being treated like crap. We are sick of it. And he's recognizing that in this response. And so I love it, you know.
He's calling out, and if nothing else, if Donald Trump walked away and he wasn't the nominee, if nothing else, looking back at the past year, folks, you've got to recognize Donald Trump has completely pulled back the curtain and exposed the Wizard of Oz.
Oh my gosh, did he ever? And it keeps on coming.
It's like this one time.
It's like when you pull the curtain and you see the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
And then after you're done expose the Wizard of Oz, there's a curtain behind the curtain.
You're like, what?
And when you pull that curtain, there's a guy that was controlling the Wizard of Oz. And then guess what? There's another curtain behind. It's like there's like this ending or never-ending cascade of curtains.
It's like the fun house with the mirrors. And all the mirrors and how deep does it go? Where does the mirror of the mirror of the mirror end? Where does it end?
So you take a hammer and you break the mirror, and right behind that is another mirror, and you're just like, you got to be kidding me.
When does this all end?
Yeah, it's like crazy. But you know there's a finite number of curtains, mirrors, whatever you want to call it, and you know it's encapsulated in that. What it is the establishment. And we know that there's a finite number of people that represent the establishment. So we know there is an end to the amount of smoke and mirrors, Correct. The amount of curtains. We know where it's contained, and we just are blowing it up. It's as simple as that.
So now, when we look at the end of Obama's
smoke and mirrors.
They're calling it a legacy.
Oh,
but a legacy sometimes denotes like a good thing. However, this legacy that he has left behind is just utter chaos and destruction, and the entire world is spiraling out of control while he's prancing around the world, globetrotting the world. And they even talked about how many millions and millions and hundreds of millions of dollars. I think it's like $400 million on vacations that the American taxpayer has paid for this joker, this community disorganizer.
Well, he's worried about his legacy, right? Because
he's definitely worried.
I've been involved with just paying attention,
right,
or more, when it comes to presidential elections every 4 years. Been watching this pretty much since 92 or so. I was paying even when I was a kid in 88. I was paying attention a little bit, not as much, anywhere near as much as I am now.
Right.
But all these years, all these election cycles. When do you remember during the election cycle, the outgoing president is weighing in on this?
Sitting president,
sitting outgoing president. He's not running.
No,
he's outgoing, and he's weighing in. And that's exactly what Obama did. And it is abundantly clear that he is very worried about his legacy.
Well, and it's so crystal clear to the American people to see through that smoke. There's not much smoke and there's not much mirror left. And you could see why he's doing it and what his agenda is for, and it's laughable. It's laughable. Like, nobody's taking this joker serious. No, who takes him serious now?
Well, the only thing that he's going to have in his legacy that are going to leave people scratching their head for many, many generations is, as bad as he was, and we will all see clearly, we're going to look back and be like, wow, this guy was one of the worst, if not the worst ever, right?
Right.
They're all going to wonder how on earth, if he was that bad, he got reelected for a second term. There may have to be investigations after the fact as to whether or not there was some fraudulent...
Well, a lot of people are saying that there's a lot of fraud that was going on.
Right, voter fraud and shenanigans, to say the least.
And I mean, I don't even know that if...
It makes me worry about this Hillary versus Trump thing. You know, for Obama to beat Romney the way it ended up going, it makes me a little bit worried.
Well,
we're talking about the worst president in
Well,
history trying to go for re-election against a guy that seems like a squeaky clean Boy Scout for the most part, who trounces him in one debate.
He did walk back the second and walk back the third debate.
Well, he lost the second one because Candy Crowley.
Yeah.
Candy Crowley.
Aleister Crowley.
It was 2 against 1.
Right.
And Romney was just taken totally by surprise. If it was Trump would have called her out.
Right.
Romney was just a deer in headlights when Candy came out and said, it is true that Obama's right and you're wrong. I'm just saying. That's literally what Candy did. If you're new to politics and you're listening to this and you didn't know this, that's what happened in the second debate between Romney and Obama in 2012. The moderator of the debate was Candy Crowley, and she literally said, I got to interrupt you guys real quick. Obama, you win. Romney, you lose. That's pretty much what happened.
Wow.
And Romney didn't respond. You know what it looked like? It looked like he was doubting his own assertions.
Oh, no, it definitely did. I honestly, at one point, I thought that somebody had taken him to some kind of woodshed and said, hey, you're not allowed to talk to black people like that.
Oh, I'm sure. The GOP told him that. Like, whoa, you got to back it up a little bit. We're talking about the first black president here. We need to be careful. We could lose independence.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, just so stupid. I'm so glad. One of the things that thrills me the most about Trump is that he has said all the things that you need to say to ruin your candidacy, and it didn't ruin it.
Right.
I love that.
When they're talking about this election right now as being absolutely epic, if you will, it's groundbreaking in the sense that nobody, even Newt Gingrich this week came out and said this. I love Newt, and I love some of the things he stood for in the past.
Well, he's the reason.
He's done in the past.
He's the reason why so many people think that the Clinton years were so great.
And it wasn't the Clintons. It was Newt. Yeah. And it was the what do you call it? The contract with America.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so Newt's coming out. Newt's been coming out for a while. I'm out for Trump. It's for Trump. That's what it is. That's what we're going to do. And he said that, and I'm paraphrasing, that Donald Trump is a phenomenon. And never in American politics have you seen such a and probably modern politics, have you seen such a far outsider come from out of nowhere to knock this thing out of the park. Now, granted, a lot of precursors, there were a lot of things set up for Trump to springboard off of, i.e., Obama, Hillary, Paul Ryan, and Cruz, you're part of it too, buddy. All of the House and the Senate giving Obama everything he's ever wanted for the last 7 years. Everything that Obama's ever wanted,
which is ridiculous.
Obama is the most successful president in American politics, in American history, because he's achieved at least as much as probably beyond more than his wildest dreams he's achieved. Untouched, unscathed. And so Trump is springboarding off of that. However, you got to see the people are rising up. Now, obviously, I'm praying and I'm hoping and I'm crossing my fingers. And as a conservative talk show here on Smith Radio, we will continue to hold his feet to the fire. I will always call him out if he's wrong on this or if he's Trump. If Trump is wrong on this decision, or Trump is wrong on that, we're going to call him out here. Don't think that we're drinking Kool-Aid because we don't do that here on Smith Radio.
Like, did you hear that he was coming out and he's going to push for a $15 minimum wage?
I did.
And when I heard that, I cringed and I thought, oh,
we're going to talk about this on the show. This
is what I've been scared about. This is what I've been worried about. This is my biggest fear, that it turns out that all the Never Trump Cruise Crew people were absolutely correct, that he really is a liberal Democrat in disguise. And I heard this through Rush Limbaugh. Now here, I'm going to blast on Rush a little bit here. This happened on, I believe, Thursday. Is it Thursday it happened?
Yeah.
So Rush Limbaugh at the very beginning in hour one was told, or maybe he read the headline, that Trump is now coming out for a $15 minimum wage. And he believed it. And he said the reason I believe it is because it wouldn't surprise me. That's what he said. It wouldn't surprise me. And when I
don't know, why would he say it wouldn't surprise me? I don't like that.
Well, hold on. This is the reason why Trump said it wouldn't surprise. Trump has bought into the lie that Rush has bought into the lie that Trump is just a liberal.
Sheep in wolf's clothing, or wolf in sheep's clothing.
Maybe a wolf in sheep's clothing, but definitely far to the left of Cruz.
Okay.
He's totally bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. Don't know why. I think he's just been following these Cruise Crew people a little bit too closely, who have created a complete false narrative about Trump that was actually working for a while. It's the reason they won Wisconsin and why Cruz has really come up. They did it was like this underground grassroots negative campaign against him that was working, and Rush was following this stuff, and Rush bought into it. So anyway, for the first 2 hours of his show, he was totally bought into and believed this. Finally, in hour 3 of his show on Thursday regarding this minimum wage hike to $15 that supposedly Trump was supporting, he finally says, folks, I got to come out and tell you that I've been getting notes from some of my buddies saying that you're wrong about this Trump agreeing to a $15 an hour minimum wage thing. So then he goes into the detail. Come to find out, he was asked, are you for a $15 minimum wage? And he said, we're looking into it. We're looking into everything. And he said, would you support it? And would you I can't remember the exact words, but for the most part, what Trump said was the options on the table. That's basically what Trump's position was on it. Now, here's why that is such a brilliant answer. And I'm not being a leftist by saying this.
No, you're being a populist.
This is why this is such a brilliant answer. And I'm the conservative libertarian. I believe that the best way to do it is abolish a minimum wage. That's my belief. No minimum wage. But why him saying that was so brilliant was because if he says that, no, I am coming out saying I will not raise the minimum wage, Clinton's going to beat that over his head saying, look at this rich white guy. He wants to keep your wages down. For Trump to say, no, I'm taking the conservative position of taking it off the table, I am not going to raise the minimum wage, is going to be the hugest weapon against him for Hillary.
No, it'd be damaging. Absolutely. But it would be arsenal for Hillary's camp to load.
Right, but you know what else was brilliant? He didn't say, I am for raising it to $15. All he said was, the option's on the table. That's all he said. And Trump, in the third hour of his show,
Rush in the third.
Rush, I'm sorry.